Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And peace and salutation to the brothers that are doing this work in true sincerity. Now we're going to jump right into lesson. This is Ephesians 6 and 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Most High in the power of His might. So we're supposed to walk in spiritual strength. And that requires the putting on of the new man. As we're going to read in the Ephesians, the 6th chapter, that requires putting on the armor of the Most High, or spiritual armor. And the reason that you need to do that is because you got to understand that, we live in a carnal world full of carnal men who are not spiritual whatsoever. Their mindset and their spirit is programmed to do wickedness. And that's going to automatically go contrary against your spirit. And it's going to attempt to put you in a carnal mind state or act on their level. So just this last few days ago, we had a run-in with carnal men. There was a fender bender, so to speak, involved, where these Jake, they immediately started acting very carnal towards me and my son. Just acting very proud, very arrogant, very wicked, acting like two-thirds, man, acting in trying to intimidate, trying to coerce, making death threats. And what we did is we just tried to stay in that spiritual. We did stay in the spiritual mind frame, because we didn't go on their level, but we stood up for ourselves. We stood up, and ultimately the Lord delivers us out of that situation. But it reminded me how when things happen, you gotta try your best to stay in that spiritual mind state, to stay in that armor, to stay in that hedge of protection that the Most High has put upon us, for those men that sincerely serve the Lord. And it's easy to get caught up in those situations. And that brings me to the point where you have to be ready for those situations. You have to be ready. Well, let's put it this way: you have to meditate on what your response will be in different situations, because we have the counsel of the scriptures. The scriptures tell us what to do. But if you're not a established and rooted and grounded man in the spirit, then all those scriptures, all those counsel is going to go out the window if you start acting carnally. So that's why it's best, to purpose in your mind already what your reaction is going to be to certain situations. So that's something good. That's something to meditate upon, man. Meditate on how you are going to react beforehand on situations. Run scenarios in your head. Ultimately, we trust the Lord, but we have to stay in that spiritual mind state, man, because it's easy to get caught up in the wiles of the devil. So we're going to go through scriptures, concerning the spiritual armor and the spiritual mentality that builders are supposed to have as they go on this walk. So this is Ephesians 6 and 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord in the power of His might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Let's get that word wiles. It says the compound of G. Okay, let's see what it is. The cunning arts, the deceit, the craft, the trickery, all the slickness and all the tactics that Jake likes to use to get over on somebody else. Now, if we stay in a spiritual mind state, which we did in that situation, those men didn't get over on us. Two of them fled. Because we were outnumbered 4-2. And then brothers came to check up on us, and they didn't like that, man. And then when the police came, they didn't like that either. Two of them fled, and they stopped acting like the proud, arrogant, and boastful, uh, stiff-necked, wicked two-thirds that they are. Their whole fucking demeanor changed. But the important thing about that is brothers all stayed in the spirit, and backing up other brothers and dealing with these because they were getting violent. They were making death threats, dealing with these men. Because the brothers had the armor of the Most High upon them. But brothers were in a spiritual mind state. So I wanted that back again. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And in order to do that, in order to put on the armor of the Most High, you have to get rid of the old man, because it's not going to work that way. You can't put the armor of the Most High on a wicked ass person. It's not going to work. That armor is not going to fit. It's not going to be it's not going to be suiting to him. So let's get Romans 13 and 12. This is Romans 13 and 12, and it says I'll start at verse 11. It's Romans 13 and 11, and it says, and that knowing the time. So you got to know the time. You got to know the situation that you're in. You got to know that you walk among demons and you walk around wickedness. That's why the scripture says that saying goes about a lion seeking with him a roaring lion. Not just a lion, a roaring lion out for the kill, seeking whom he devour. But we have a defense against that. Not only do we have a defense, we have an offense as well. In this word and in this truth. It says, knowing the time that now was high time to wake out of sleep. And that was our old man was. Our old man was in a state of sleep or darkness. For knowledge of salvation nearer than we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. So in order to put on the armor of the Most High, as described in Ephesians the 6th chapter, you have to put off the old man or the works of darkness. And another thing too, you gotta understand that everybody else is walking in darkness, walking in the works of darkness. The deceit, the craftiness, the coercion, the intimidation, the wickedness, just the whole mentality, the hood mentality of Jake, which basically is a mentality of wickedness, a mentality of death and destruction and murder and no integrity and thievery and deceit and lying. It says, I want that back in. Therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light, which is the spiritual armor, as we read in Ephesians 6. We're going to read in Ephesians 6 chapter. It says, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness. Let's go ahead and get these definitions. Not in rioting. Let's get the word rioting. Carousing, doctrinal righteous possession of half drunken fathers and fellows. So we're not supposed to be out there, in that party mind state of, you all know what drunkenness is. And chambering, let's go and get chambering. Pigs flying down, marriage bed, adultery. That's Jake there. That describes wicked as Jake to the fullest. And wantonness, let's go ahead with wantonness. Unbridled lust, excess, lasciviousness, division, wantonness. That's Jake, man. That's Jake. That's Jake's mentality right there. But verse 14, it says, not in strife and envying. Finish 13 again. Not in strife and envying. And these men definitely came in strife and envying. They came with quarrel. They came with wrangling, debate. Let's get that word wrangling in the Webster's 1828. Let's get that word wrangling. These men came with strife. They came with quarrel or argument. Let's see here, wrangling. It says disputing or contending angrily. The act is disputing angrily, and that's what they did. That's what they were doing. So they were walking in darkness. Those men were walking in darkness. They definitely showed themselves to be the two-thirds and stiff-necked, rebellious people, men that they are. Verse 14, but put ye on the Lord Meshach Yahushai, that's the spiritual armor, which is the word. It made not provision for the flesh and for the lust thereof. So that means you got to keep yourself out of, to the best of your ability, keep out certain situations. And then when you do get in situations where you encounter the wicked ass Jake, when he confronts you, then that's when your spiritual armor is going to be exercised the most. And you gotta think over in your mind how your reaction is going to be, so you can know how to do beforehand. In the military, they have a lot of training, a lot of repetitive training. Whether it be to the firing of your weapon or certain maneuvers and tactics that they do, and those maneuvers and tactics are practiced and repeated over and over and over and over and over again. And the reason that they do that, so when that time comes when you have to utilize those maneuvers, those tactics, those procedures that you do without thought, it just becomes a muscle memory reaction. Because in that time when it comes at you like that, you're not gonna have the ability to think. The only ability you're gonna have is to react, and unless you properly purpose in your mind and train your your movement to automatically react in a certain way, will depend on victory or death. So in the same way, in this truth, man, you have to constantly rehearse and practice what your reaction and what your movement will be in certain situations. Don't wait for those situations to come. That's what's called being circumspect. You gotta be circumspect. You gotta put yourself in different situations and tell yourself, how will I react in this situation? So that's what you gotta do. That's part of putting on the Lord Meshach Yahushai. That's part of making not provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof, because the to walk in the flesh, to walk in lust, is to be in a mentality of just responding to things carnally. But as we're gonna read in the scriptures, in order to put on that spiritual armor, you gotta put out the old man. Let's get Ephesians 4:24. This is it's a lot. Ephesians 4:24, and it says oh yeah, I'll just start I'll start 22. It says that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man. And that's the only way you can put on that spiritual armor, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. And that's basically what the whole world walks in right now. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Let's get that, renewed in the spirit of your mind. So let's go ahead and get the NLT for that. See what it says. I'll start verse 22 again. It says, throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. Yeah, because that's what Jake walks in. He walks in deception. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on new creature created to be like Yahweh, truly righteous and holy. Stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth. We are all part of the same body. And don't sin by letting anger control you. That's why you gotta meditate on your responses to things. Don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. For anger gives a foothold to the devil. If you are a thief, quit stealing. Instead use your hands for good hard work, and then give generally to others in need. And we'll go back to the KJV. It says, put on the new man after your house created righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore put away lying, speaking every man with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Be angry, sin not that the sun will down in your wrath. So you gotta be able to to whatever situation that puts you in that anger. You gotta be able to counsel yourself, or have a resolve to that situation. Basically, by the end of the day, because that anger will eat at you, man. It says, "Let not sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil." You know, that's knowing how to keep yourself out of certain situations, in things. So let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands, the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth. So you're not supposed to be talking all this fuck shit like the 2/3 do. They talk about a bunch of folly and wickedness and adultery and perverseness. It says, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that may minister grace into the hearers. So, hey, we're supposed to, brothers are deep, man. Brothers they spit knowledge, so to speak. They kick knowledge, like they say. Because the brothers are in the spirit. When we read the scriptures, it says, "Agree not the Holy Spirit of Yahweh, by your seal to day redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger, calamity, will speak and be put away from you with all malice." So we're supposed to be calm and cool, collected at all times, man. We have every right to defend ourselves, but ultimately, most of the time, it's not even get to that point. The Lord's going to take care of it for us. And be kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgive one another, even as Yahweh, for Yahweh's sake, has forgiven you. So let's get Ephesians 4:24. I don't know if I got that already, but let's see. Did I get it? Let's go to my history. Yeah, we already got it. We'll get it right now. It says that you put on the new man, which is the Yahweh was creating righteousness and true holiness, where we put away lying, speaking every man the truth of his neighbor. So all this comes of certain moral behavior. Put away lying, speaking every man the truth of his neighbor, if we are members of one another. And we just read that, man. So let's get Colossians, the 3rd chapter. So reading all this, you got to understand there's a certain conduct that's required of you, of being in this truth, a certain integrity, a level of integrity, matter of fact, that's required of you of being in this truth. Colossians 3:12, put on therefore the elect of Yahweh. So this is how the elect are going to act. How do we do that? Is it making a 100 videos a day? What is it? What the scripture is going to tell you. Let's put on therefore the elect of Yahweh, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. And Jake just can't do that. He just won't do it. 2/3 of our people won't do it. The wicked of our people, they just can't. They can't do that, man. It's not in them. Because there's a spirit of weakness within them, man. And we've seen it. Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Yahweh Shai forgave you, so also do ye. So sometimes you take the L, man, and ultimately let the Lord handle things. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness. I want to get that word charity, because it speaks about it in great detail and in a high manner. Love, as affection or benevolence, especially a love, feast, brotherly love, affection, goodwill, love, and benevolence. So that's an important characteristic of a man of the elect, charity, or true brotherhood. And let the peace of Yahweh rule in your hearts, to the which also you are called in one body, and be ye thankful. And this is the good word right here, Colossians 3:16. Says, let the word of Yahweh Shai dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. And whatsoever ye do in word and deed, do all in the name of Meshach Yahweh Shai, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him. So if you have that mentality that whatever you do in word and deed, you're doing the name of Meshach Yahweh Shai, and that's how you stay in that with the spiritual armor on. That's how you stay in that new man state. That's how you prevent yourself from making provisions to the flesh. That's your defense and your offense all at the same time. So you gotta meditate upon these things, man. You gotta put yourself in certain situations in your mind and decide how you're going to react to them. Because Daniel did that. It says in the script that he purposed in his heart that he would not be defiled by the king meat. So he already put himself in a situation, and he already knew his reaction was going to be towards it. That's a good thing to meditate upon from time to time. But this is all part of our walk, man. This is what's going to help us in our walk too. To put on that spiritual armor, and I'm not going to get into it because I don't make the video too long. But brothers can read that chapter, and basically it speaks of the spiritual armor. And with that spiritual, putting on a spiritual armor comes with the expectation that you're gonna have to do spiritual battle. But with that being said, so keep that in mind, man. Most I win the edifying lesson. That will give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Kahalal Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.